for the delay of the video. Excuse me. Let me start one. Sorry for the delay of this video that I've been booked and everything. So hopefully everybody out there is going to enjoy this video. I am going to talk about world heavyweight champions and my category and the difference of world champions and why. Anyway, let me start by saying the first wrestler is the living legend, in my opinion, the greatest world heavyweight champion, the living legend, Bruno Sammartino. He held the title for 7 years from 1963 to 1971. I believe that's right. And he was originally born in Italy, and he beat Bruno Sammartino beat Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, who was the first world heavyweight champion of at that time called the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Hopefully everybody can hear my voice real good. Anyway, and then the second, one of my also favorites, is superstar Billy Graham, who, in my opinion, was a really good heavyweight champion. He had the catchphrases and everything, more flamboyant. But yeah, he's one of my all-time favorites. He's got a great DVD out there. 25 years before. I think that's what happened. Anyway, something. It was a DVD about him. It was a really good DVD. Then we got, of course, everybody's favorite, which I'm really proud of this here figure. It was the Japan's version when he was in Japan, the Incredible Hulk Hogan, or Hulkster, or whatever you want to call him. Anyway, this was one of my favorites. He was a great world heavyweight champion. He had the look and everything else. These guys I'm going to be talking about more. So, and then the next is got to be the greatest in-ring technician wrestler of all time, Bret the Hitman Hart. This is the Hasbro figure. I had him since I was a kid. Still in pretty good shape. His arm still works. Look at that. Not bad for being old. Not bad for being all that old. About 20-something years old. So, anyway, and the last of my list of in my opinion, the last great world heavyweight champion, Triple H, the Game, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the cerebral assassin, one tough individual, love him. He has the coolest ring theme song out there by Motorhead, The Game. Great song too, I love it. Anyway, but yeah, I was going to talk about some matches that Bruno Sammartino had. Let me back up before I get into that. I was going to talk about another one. I ain't got nothing on him. His name was Pedro Morales. Another great world heavyweight champion. He beat Ivan Koloff, who beat Bruno for the world title. So Pedro Morales was a tough Puerto Rican wrestler. One of the greatest, in my opinion. But anyway, but where I was just left off at, Bruno Sammartino had a lot of great matches. Let's see, let me think of some of the great matches. He faced Larry Sabisco in a cage match, and I think it was in 1980, or it might have been 1981. That was a great match. I've got it. I can't remember the exact year, but it was a great match. It was in the 80s, the beginning of the 80s. He's been in the ring with, there was a match. I can't remember who his partner was. It was a Japanese wrestler. This was taped in Japan. It was Bruno and his tag team partner against Harley Race and his tag team partner, who was a Federation wrestler, against a NWA wrestler. Uh, in my opinion, you can't beat a World Wrestling Federation wrestler. As far as the big shows go, I mean, like I've heard them say before, and I believe it was Triple H said this: if you can't sell at Madison Square Garden, you ain't gonna be able to sell nowhere, because Madison Square Garden, they know their stuff. I agree with that. Uh, but like I was saying, the NWA wrestlers and champions, they claim is the legit World Heavyweight Championship title. I don't believe that. I mean, you have other world titles like, of course, the World Wrestling Federation title, or now WWE. Uh, you have the AWA World title, which was prestige as you can get, as along with the World Wrestling Federation title, because you had Nick Bobwinkle, you had Vern Gagne, even Hogan won the title, even though they didn't let him keep it. Rick Martel was a world champion in the AWA. Mr. Perfect, or at the time he was called Kurt Hennings, he held the world title in AWA. Let me think. I can't remember anybody else, but yeah, that was a great wrestling organization, the AWA. Um, but anyway, I was going to show you. I just got them in here today. Very proud of them. And I was just talking about these guys. Here's one. Hopefully, y'all can see it, of Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. Of course, he's not in this one. He's not wearing the World Wrestling Federation title, but he's wearing the NWA World title, which, in my opinion, was a better champion than Blue Thez and all of them. Very proud of that, and that was very cool. Well, I mean, just kind of gives you a little story of him in the back of it. Oh, here's another cool one. This is Nature Boy Buddy Rogers and his wife. I thought it was very unusual. They call them the Nature Boy and Nature Girl, but this was made, and this was on Buddy Rogers' 50th birthday. Was one of I'm very proud of these cars. My Might as well say, go ahead and say why she got them for him. This was a birthday. I mean, excuse me, Christmas present early. It's not even getting close to Christmas, but anyway, this tells you a little bit about them in the back. But yeah, that's a good card. And here's one that Bruno Sammartino. You can see him wearing the second world title match. Oh, sorry about that. That's the dog was barking at something. Very good picture. This has got to be from the early 60s, because the title was the second May World Championship title. It's got Bruno Sammartino. And of course, it tells you a little something about him on this particular evening of him. This right here is one of my proud possessions of the cards I got. Superstar Billy Graham with the late Grand Wizard of Wrestling, which was a very unusual person. I hadn't seen very many videos and clips of him. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more out there. I just hadn't really watched them. This was probably, I think, well, here it is right here. It says 1977. I mean, look how flamboyant he looks in this one, the Grand Wizard of Wrestling. First Hulk Hogan, the first Ric Flair, the first Macho Man. He was the first Jesse the Body Ventura. I mean, he's the original. Here's another good one of him with the World Heavyweight title that I think Bruno was originally in. Okay, I'm back now. The video had poor connection. This one is a great one. superstar holding the world title. I think Bruno was the first to wear this particular title too. Oh, I can't remember who's very great title. That was a great picture. Here's the one I was talking about right here. You can't really tell in the picture, but that's the original World Heavyweight title of the WWF or WWE, excuse me. You can't really tell it from the way he's standing, his stance, but that's Buddy Roger in his first world title in the WWF. That's what it's supposed to be. Oh yeah, here's another good Bruno Sammartino. He right after he won the title, they gave him that particular title to be the Prestige World Heavyweight Championship, which was a beautiful belt. All of the WWF title belts were beautiful. I like them better. Anyway, here's another picture of Buddy Rogers. Very cool one. And there's another one of, and that's the great one of Superstar cards. Yeah, some of my favorite matches for the world title. Well, the first one would have to be, well, let me go face somewhere maybe 1960 or excuse me 1970 when I think that's right now. That was a good match. Bruno versus Larry Sabisco. I almost forgot Larry Sabisco was a AWA World Champion too. We'll talk about him on another video. More of him. You had, let's see, another one that Bruno did for the world title when he faced Superstar Billy Graham, where Superstar beat him. Of course, Bruno was a great wrestler. He could do just about everything. He could do brawling. He wasn't a great technician wrestler, but he was a good brawler. He can wrestle. You know, he could be a strong man. He was incredibly strong back then. I mean, he was bench pressing, bench pressing like over 500 pounds, which was unheard of in the 50s and 60s. That was just incredible. Even the strong man couldn't even do it. But yeah, he's one of my favorite what I call legends, vintage wrestler champions of all time. But anyway, let me go on to Superstar Billy Graham. Superstar was another magnificent specimen, if you want to call him that. I mean, the man, I think he had 20, I think at the time he had I think it was either 22 or 23-inch arms. I mean, he was ripped. I mean, even Arnold Schwarzenegger was impressed with him. Want to know what his secrets was and everything else? Because I mean, they was just amazed at him for being a pro wrestler. I mean, he was incredibly strong himself. Loved the man to death. He was just cool. I mean, but he's had a heart attack here recently, so I'm still waiting on more about that and how he's doing and everything. I just hope he gets better because I hate to lose. You know, we don't need to lose another legend just right now, considering WrestleMania is supposed to be coming up pretty soon. Or we got another WrestleMania coming up. I hope he will show up there. But some of Superstar's my favorite matches with him, which he should have won, was the one with Bob Backlund. Was not a Bob Backlund fan. Bob Backlund just didn't look like no world champion to me. He just didn't have the look. He didn't have the charisma, in my opinion, which a lot of people may disagree with me. That's fine. when see, there was another one. Let's see, Superstar went up against Gorilla Monsoon. Superstar has been in the ring with Harley Race, in which, in my opinion, he beat Harley Race. I mean, I was shooting for the World Wrestling Federation champion. I mean, I'm just gonna say, of course, there's nothing wrong with Harley Race. Harley Race was a great legend. You know, he may rest in peace. You know, but he wasn't one of my favorites. I mean, he just wasn't, in my opinion, he wasn't the greatest. What they consider him to be the greatest superstar. Of course, Bruno whooped him pretty good in the ring. I mean, that's just my opinion. Which, you know, he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I'm not going to take that away from him. He was a good champion, but he wasn't the greatest. Um, I just like I never understood about Ric Flair. Ric Flair was another one of those that they praise him, and you know he's supposed to help. Well, I think 15 or 16 world titles, and that just don't impress me. Bruno impressed me. He held the title for 7 years. Triple H has held the title. I can't remember what his record was, but Triple H is like a 13 or 14 time world champion. Uh, Much better wrestler. Bret Hart was another great world champion, which I'm just to get to him here in a minute. Uh, but yeah, Bret the Hitman Hart was a Canadian wrestler. Started off in his father's business, the Canadian Stampede Wrestling, which is a great wrestling. I mean, it was awesome. Even though before my time when Bret was in there. Bret was a great tag team. He had a great tag team. Him and his brother-in-law Jim and Neidhart, which is Natalia's father on WWE. Love her. She reminds me of the Anvils. She just got his style, the way he wrestles and everything. Just she's cool. But yeah, Bret was a there was never going to be another one like him. He is what he claimed, that what they called him. He's the best there is. Sorry, folks, I lost connection, so I'm being reconnected. All right, I'm back now. Sorry about that. The video stopped to reconnect. Um, Bret Hart lived up to what then one of the things his nicknames, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. He was that. There won't be another one like him. He is the greatest. Um, very smooth in the ring. He could do anything in the ring. He was tough. You know, you just when you got in the ring with Bret the Hitman Hart, you better be on your A game. So, but now when he left WWF and went to WCW, his wrestling skills and his matches just went downhill. He just did not have no good matches in WCW. I'm just not a WCW, NWA, Jim Crockett promotion, whatever you want to call it. You know, I just wasn't for the Carolina wrestling. Everybody praises. That's their own privilege and everything. That's fine, like I said. Oh, but Bret, his best match would have to be him and Owen was one of them. I think it was at WrestleMania 10. Uh, when he got in the ring with Diesel was a good match. He carried that match. Bret Hart did. I mean, he outdid. I mean, you can't compete with Bret. Bret's just good. Bret will make the match good by himself, even though somebody else. Now, when he got in the ring with, I seen a match with him and Greg the Hammer Valentine, which was a great match. I mean, that was non-stop action right there. That was just blow for blow technician style wrestling. Um, But yeah, Brett was one of my favorite all times. Great. Wish I could meet him one day. I mean, I would love it if I got to meet him. Got his autograph and everything else. So anyway, but the next guy I'm going to talk about, let's see, I think I done talked about Bruno. I don't know I done talked about Bruno. I think I talked about Hulk Hogan's. Well, no, I hadn't either. I did talk about, see, Hulk Hogan was the man looks like the World Heavyweight Champion, just like Superstar. He had 24-inch arms. He had the charisma. Now, he wasn't the greatest technician wrestler to ever live by no means, but he was a powerhouse. He was cool to watch. You know, when his greatest moment when he body slammed Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3, but that wasn't the first time he ever body slammed Andre. He body slammed Andre years before that. Hogan, that's another one I wish I could meet. Um, he could do movies. A lot of people didn't like his movies. I thought they were great. Uh, he had a great WrestleMania 2 match with King Kong Bundy, a steel cage match. The match between Hulk Hogan and Mr. T against Rowdy Piper and Paul Wonderful, which Jimmy Superfly Snuka was in the corner of Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, and Cowboy Bob Orton was in Rowdy Piper and Mr. Wonderful's corner. The match was a good match. It was the first WrestleMania, something that the Jim Crockett promotion couldn't pull off on pay-per-view. Vince McMahon made pay-per-view wrestling what it is. Well, with the help of all the wrestlers, of course. That was just, Hogan had many great matches. I mean, he had a good match with Greg the Hammer Valentine. He's had good matches with Don Morocco. He's been in the ring with George the Animal Steel against him and tag team with him. One of the matches I've always remembered was when Hogan and Mr. Mean Gene Okerlund, may rest in peace. God bless him. Mean Gene Okerlund was another great person in the wrestling world with that we had lost. But anyway, I'm getting to the point. It was Hulk Hogan and Mean Gene Okerlund, Mr. Mean Gene Okerlund. I'm going to call him for that of respect. It was him, and it was them two against George the Animal Steel and Mr. Fuji, which, Mr. Fuji, I think at the time, I believe he was getting too old to get in the ring, and he was, he was getting slower, couldn't hold up too well and everything, which it was still a great match, but that was a that was a great match, especially what was leading up to when they was Mean Gene Okerlund and Hogan were doing their training. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get off of that subject, and I'm going to go on to Miss Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the Game, the Cerebral Assassin. He was I don't know exactly how to explain Triple H. He was a great pro wrestler, great champion. He was smart. I have to give him that. He did something that nobody else would have done if they had the same opportunities he did. He married the boss's daughter. I ain't gonna hold that up against him. He was smart. He played it. I mean, he played that smart. They're a great couple. They love one another. That's what counts. And I'm glad they're happy. And I'm not gonna knock him for that, because Triple H is, he did what anybody else would have done the same thing if they had the opportunity. If that was in front of them. Triple H, in my opinion, does a good job in and out of the ring. I have no complaints for him. A lot of people that don't like him because they say he destroyed careers, which in my opinion was not the case. My favorite match of Triple H, ooh, that's a hard one. I guess it was the night. It was Triple H against The Rock, I believe. I believe that's who it was for the world title. That was a great match. It was another one was him and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Uh, the night he won the world title from, I think he beat Randy Orton for the world title, I believe. Which anyway, he was, in my opinion, for 2001 Triple H. Besides the Undertaker was still getting in the ring real good. Was the best wrestlers of 2001 all the way up to 2008, all that, which I never was a Batista fan. I glad that he actually got to beat Batista at WrestleMania because, in my opinion, Triple H was a better wrestler. I was not a Batista fan. I called him Bootista. But yeah, it was a great moment. I loved it. Good job, Triple H. Um, Triple H was a King of the Ring winner. So was Bret Hart. He was that was where the whole King of Kings and all that came from. And Triple H was a tough man. He was cool to watch. He was big. He was like Hulk Hogan and Superstar Billy Graham and Bruno. He could wrestle. He could brawl. When you go in there, he's also one of them. When you get in the ring with him, you better have your A game on. I mean, you're not gonna uh, run all over him in the ring. He's good. He's that good. Uh, but yeah, there's some DVDs out there that everybody should try to find if they ain't already got in their collection. One of them was called WWE History of the Champion, not the World Champion. I don't know why they didn't add that as World Champion Volume 2, but it's called the History of the WWE Champion. You can get it on eBay and Amazon, I imagine, too. You can order from other companies and stuff. Great DVD. It's got a lot of good footages. Uh, as you can tell behind me, I got a whole bunch of DVDs, VHS tapes. Uh, as a matter of fact, I'm going to show one of my proud possessions, Hulkamania, the best of Hulk Hogan, Coliseum home video. Very good VHS. Uh, but yeah, WWE, I grew up watching it. I mean, I love the Mid-South wrestling. My wife's uncle and aunt both wrestled for that company. Playboy Mike Rose and Kathy Lane, which one day I'm going to do a whole show once I find out more, because there's a lot of stuff I done forgot because Mid South was hard to get a hold of on TV sometimes at the time. But anyway, I'm gonna do a show one day of on homage to him in memories and everything. And Kathy Lane, his wife, met her, seen Playboy Mike Rose when I was like 7 or 8 years old. Uh, but anyway, going back to the World Championships. But yeah, these are some of my favorite World Heavyweight Champions. I'm going to do another show. Watch out for part 2 of this history of my flashback of the World Heavyweight Champions, the real World Heavyweight Champions. You won't ever hear me talk too much about the Carolinas wrestling because I just didn't care for it. But yeah, WWE always had the coolest looking titles. Um, they've had unique matches. They've had all kind of different things that I just love. They had the better storylines. Uh, Everything. Of course, people might, on here, if you want to say, I was going to tell y'all out there too. You have any questions or want stuff you want me to talk about on my next video, please email me. Uh, don't be afraid to send me emails. If you know, everybody's got their opinions. I mean, it ain't gonna hurt my feelings. I'm just here giving you my stories, and if you have time, look up Ultimate Gallows videos. As a matter of fact, I think it was, yeah, I think that's right. It's Ultimate Gallows. Let's see. Anyway, just look up for that. It's he's a rat. He does wrap up video. He wears a luchador mask. Very good friend of mine. Yeah, it's Ultimate Gallows. You have just like this hat right here. This SWA hat. Steve Starr is the he does a lot of the bookings and stuff like that. They have a lot of fundraisers. Very good wrestling. Uh, Family friendly, no vulgar, nothing. You know, it's just a good, fun, old fashioned style wrestling. Uh, but yeah, yeah, Ultimate Gallows Wrestling wrap up. I believe is how you is. I'm trying to remember all this at once. I mean, I'm having a hard time. Um, but anyway, but up here comes my wife right now. Hey, Melissa, is it Ultimate Gallows? Ultimate. Excuse me, I had it all wrong. Ultimo Gallows. Oh, I think it's Wrestling Wrap Up. I believe. I believe that's how you say it. I was trying to remember it. I'm having a hard time. I'm sorry. Sorry out there, Ultimate Gallows. I'm trying to do my best on this. So, but anyway, when y'all have time, check him out too. He's got a lot of great videos. Like I said, he's got a lot of great wrestling knowledge. Oh, this is just a video. This is my first video, so I'm kind of not knowing what I'm doing. I'm kind of like a chicken with his head cut off. Because you'll find him on YouTube. Yes, he's on Ultimate Gallows is on YouTube. Um, when you look him up and everything, you can ask him stuff, and he'll be more than happy to assist you. And he sells stuff at wrestling events and everything. So look for him at the local wrestling events around Mississippi and everything. He's very you can't ask for a friendlier person. When you get if you get a chance to meet Mr. Steve Starr, the legend. It's Ultimate Gallows Weekend Wrestling. Excuse me, it's Ultimate Gallows Weekend Wrestling Wrap Up. Is what the actual site is. I'll get it right here shortly, but I got it right now, so we're all good. So yeah, just look that up. Or if you want to send me an email for his, I will be more than happy to help you out. If you have any other questions, anything I want me to talk about in my next video on World Champion Volume 2, or Flashback is what I'm going to call it, Flashback Champions Volume 2, send me an email. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos about the Intercontinental Champion, Tag Team Champions, WrestleMania moments. I'm going to do one about WWE Monday Night Raw. I'm going to be doing a lot of these videos, so everybody just keep tuned with me, and I'll have better videos and stuff, so hopefully this ain't too much of a disappointment on my videos. So anyway, I guess that's going to be the wrap up on this here video. And hopefully everybody enjoyed it. If you have any questions about what I may have and don't have, or where I find them, or where would be the best place to find wrestling merchandise, I'll be more than happy to tell you. Well, if you don't know where to look for or something, or I'm always looking for wrestling figures myself. I got a bunch I'm still trying to find. Anyway, I guess that's going to be the wrap up now, and I hope everybody has a good night or a good evening or whatever time it is that y'all watch this video. I want to appreciate you. Like I said, this is Highlander wrestling show. So keep watching out for my new videos, and thank you very, very much, and hope to see y'all or hear from y'all soon. Thank you.
You have it there?
I think don't know if I got this turned off or not.
It's fine.
Are you sure you want to? Yeah.